I'm not the candidate to vibe with. I don't fuck with the kumbaya shit.
Camp mode activated. Terence Bud Crawford officially is locked in camp ahead of his September 13th showdown with Saul Canelo Alvarez. It's finally going down.
I need y'all to get the likes up, man. Get the likes up. Smash the like button.
Camp has begun. And more recently, Terence Crawford revealed more of his size. The thing that people have been talking about for weeks and months on end is, will Terence Crawford have enough size to deal with Canelo Alvarez? Because that's been the main thing with this fight. Everybody believes that Terence Bud Crawford is great. Everybody believes he's good. A lot of people believe the same about Canelo Alvarez. But the main thing about this fight was the size difference. But as we see here, Terence Crawford seemed to have grown very well into a 168 super middleweights frame. Now, he's not going to be the biggest super middleweight. That's just not going to be happening, right? But when we compare him to a guy like Canelo Alvarez, another fighter who also comes from a smaller weight class, I think it's going to be comparable. I think there's going to be not too much of a size difference once they step into the ring. But Terence Crawford looks strong, looks very strong at 168 pounds. It's almost hard to believe that he was at 147 not too long ago. The more skinnier, wiry frame that he had over the years, and now we see him fully just filled in, basically, right? He just filled in. I don't know what else word I want to use. He just filled in. His legs don't look like twigs. He looks really strong at 168 pounds. Now, will all this translate on fight night? When he get in that ring, how will his body hold up? I think it's going to be fine, right? I mean, this is not something that typically goes well for people, though, right? Moving up in weight, fighting a guy that's bigger than you. You know, even if that smaller guy is more skilled, it seems like he has to put out a lot more than the guy that's bigger, right? But I don't know if that's going to be the case for this one. I just don't know. I don't think that's going to be the case because Terence Bud Crawford seems to be very well prepared going into this thing. His team seems to have got everything in order. This seems to be very calculated, right? Very calculated, this whole weight size gain and putting on the size and everything that's needed. Now, some guys in the chat and comment sections, I've seen saying Crawford lifting weights, and he's always lifted weights. Bud Crawford himself said he don't lift weights. You know what I'm saying? He kind of just be in those gyms and he just kind of just show his strength. But Crawford himself said he don't be lifting weights. So take it for what you want, right? I mean, the horse himself said he don't be lifting no weights. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Boxing fans got their own opinions on how they view things, whatever the case. I tend to lean more towards what the horse say. Even if the horse be capping sometimes, I still kind of got to go off of what the horse says because that's what they say. This is about them, right? It's Bud Crawford looking strong, though. Camp mode activated. I expect a great fight when it happens. I honestly didn't expect to do another Bud Crawford Canelo Alvarez video this soon, but Crawford just revealed that camp has been activated. Looking really strong. I believe everything will translate September 13th. But, I mean, look, man, you got guys saying that Canelo still stops Crawford in 5. But if you look at Canelo Alvarez's last 5 fights, William Skull, unanimous decision. Edgar Berlanga, unanimous decision. Jaime Munguia, unanimous decision. Jamel Charlo, unanimous decision. John Ryder, unanimous decision. The last KO Canelo had was against Caleb Plant. That was about 5 years ago, right? Terence Bud Crawford, last fight, Israel Mijamov, 154-pound debut, unanimous decision. Errol Spence Jr., the big fish, TKO. David Averizian, KO. Sean Porter, TKO. Kell Brook, TKO. So Crawford, it's hard to say that Canelo's just going to go up in here and knock Terence Crawford out when this is something that Canelo hasn't been doing, right? He didn't even knock out Edgar Berlanga. Not to say he was going to supposed to, but he should have, right? Considering how Edgar Berlanga looked against Hamza Shiraz.
Edgar Berlanga exposed the mediocrity of Canelo Alvarez's boxing. Yesterday, Berlanga was brutally knocked out by Hamza Shiraz, and it showed once again why Canelo is a declining and overrated fighter. Canelo fought Berlanga just a few months ago and couldn't knock him out, even though it was already clear that Berlanga is a C-level fighter with a glass chin. And still, Canelo had to go 12 full rounds with him. Meanwhile, Shiraz completely destroyed Berlanga in just 5 rounds. But let's not forget, Shiraz isn't some boxing prodigy either. Just a few months ago, Carlos Adames exposed him, and the judges gifted him a draw. That makes Canelo look even worse. Berlanga's knockout only proves what I've been saying for years. Canelo doesn't have the power people think he does. He's a limited, predictable fighter in decline, and that's exactly why Terence Crawford is going to destroy him this September.
You would expect the great Canelo Alvarez to do even better. Sometimes, styles make fights, etc., etc. But still, Jaime Munguia, you know what I'm saying? Another guy who really didn't deserve a fight with Canelo Alvarez. And of course, we didn't hear those narratives. Oh, what has he done? Who has he fought? We didn't hear none of that with Munguia or Berlanga. They just got the fight. They just got the golden ticket. You know what I'm saying? They just got cherry picked, right? And of course, Bivol got an opportunity at Canelo Alvarez, but that was a cherry pick gone wrong, a part of his European tour. He was in Europe, beating up all those guys. You know what I'm saying? Then he ran into Bivol, moved 175, thinking he was going to beat up on Bivol. Bivol had different plans. He had other plans. Bivol was not about to go up in there and just let Canelo do what he typically does in these fights. So Canelo Alvarez, in my opinion, man, he got a lot of work to do. The Canelo Alvarez that we've seen knock out James Kirkland and all this stuff, I don't know, bro. It's hard for me to say. I've been looking for ways for weeks for how could Canelo really beat Crawford. And, I mean, look, you guys, Canelo Alvarez really just hasn't been looking too great. He hasn't been one-shotting guys. If he was exploding on dudes and one-shotting dudes and okay, dangerous. But he hasn't been doing that. He hasn't been doing any of that. I think Canelo's just been kind of coasting by, right? I think Canelo and his team knows that Canelo's falling down the hill. Eddie Reynoso knows this. Eddie Reynoso's a smart guy. He knows that this is a tough challenge. And then they probably having a hard time trying to figure out the best way to approach this fight with Terence Bud Crawford. It's going to be tough for Canelo because I've been thinking, despite what you guys may think, I've been legitimately thinking of a way for Canelo Alvarez to win this fight, just not strictly based off his size. And it's kind of hard to do, man, because Terence Crawford is such a versatile fighter, and there's just so many different things that he's just seemingly capable of doing in the ring. It's hard to say one exact way for Canelo Alvarez to beat a guy like Terence Bud Crawford. But the narrative is Crawford is a smaller guy coming up, and that Canelo Alvarez is going to knock him out in 5. Canelo Alvarez is too big, too strong for Terence Bud Crawford. But Terence Bud Crawford revealed that, look, man, I'm not that small. Y'all going to see September 13th that I ain't scared of shit. And y'all going to see September 13th the new undisputed super middleweight champion and a 3-time undisputed champion in Terence Bud Crawford. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.